Whew, Lord Jesus. Man, what a day. So, this morning I did a chat on the BL series, um, Tahan Chan Lati, and for some reason it didn't stay on, like it didn't take. So, this is basically a repeat. So, if anybody watched it, which I doubt they did, sorry, but it's going to be a repeat of what I just talked about this morning. But for whatever, the recording didn't stay on the live, so I have to pretty much redo the conversation because I had talked about it before and I saw the update last night and it was pretty good. And so the last conversation was Chanlati and his classmates were having some sort of graduation party, and the ex-girlfriend of Tahan, Amp, I think is her name, was plotting away, like she's trying to separate the two best friends so she can get back with her ex-boyfriend, who she broke up with. So she clearly broke up with him and went off with another guy. He was heartbroken and he's done with her, but he's reunited with his best friend, and he's putting all his energy into being a brother to him, like protecting him and all this kind of stuff, because Tahan's the senior to him and he's just a junior in college. And so, this traffic is sketchy as hell. Oh my god, look at this traffic. Let me out, please. I don't know what to do. Okay. And so, they're at this bar, and Anne has this dude, this her sidekick, like plotting to get Chanlati drunk and take advantage of him in the men's room. And because they're wasted at this point, like everybody's pretty much drank too much and they're like wasted. And so Chanlati needs to go to the restroom because he's gonna throw up. And his best friend, his little sidekick, this girl, I forget her name, so forgive me, she's like helping him to the bathroom. And then so the girl Amp, she's like plotting. So she tells the girl, like, you can't go into the men's room, like Hannam Chai is like men's room or boys room. Men's restroom is like Hannam. I know that much. Hannam is restroom and Chai is like boys or men's restroom. And so she's telling the girl, like, you can't go in there, like, you're a girl, you'll get in trouble. And so she had her sidekick take him in there, let him throw up, and he's giving him water, and then he locks the stall door and throws him up against the toilet and starts to take his clothes off. And Tahan got there just like in time, like barely made it there in time to stop him, and he beat that guy up, like cracked him right upside the head, which he needed for doing that shit. And Chanlati had passed out because he was so wasted and drunk or whatever. He just passed on out. So he carried him out and took him home and put him up in the bed and like wiped him down. And, you know, he sat on the side of the bed and fell asleep because he was so worried about him. And when Chanlati woke up, he was like, you just wiped me down and took my clothes off like that. And I guess he got caught up in the moment and he kind of like, well, he kissed him like passionately while he was sleeping, and he woke up. Tahan woke up and freaked out, like, why did you kiss me? And then there was the confession that, you know, Chanlati told him, like, I've had a crush on you since we were kids. Like, I've been liking you for a long time. And of course, you know, Tahan rejected him and ran out. Like, just totally ran out. Chandler T goes behind him, and he gets on a motorcycle and just takes off. And so that started a whole crying episode with Chandler T. Hold on one second. This is a tricky area here. Chandler T was like so devastated. He was crying all in the bedroom, crying and crying. He called his girlfriend, that his little classmate. She told him to come stay with her. He packed all of his shit and moved out. And was over her house crying and going on crazy, crying. And she was trying to get him to, like, you know, call him and stuff. And he was like, no, like, if he says anything else, I'm just going to be even more devastated. And so the next day, Chandler T comes home, and he notices that, I mean, not Chandler T, but Tahan comes home, and he noticed that, like, all of Chandler T's stuff is gone, like, from their room. And he goes to the roommates and tells them, like, you know, he's gone. Do you guys know where he is? And they were like, oh, what happened? And he was like, well, he kissed me. And they were like, well, it was just a drunken kiss. Like, they were trying to kind of make it, like, not a big deal because they know he's, like, totally homophobic and everything. And so he tells them, no, it wasn't a drunken kiss, because he confessed to me that he was in love with me and he was totally sober. And they were like, and are you okay with him being are you okay with him being gay? And there he was like, not saying anything. And then, like, they were trying to egg him on to kind of see where he was on all of it. And he was just like, you know, I need to find him or whatever. And so it kind of is foggy in the head now, because now I can't remember the how everything unfolded. But his roommates finally ended up coming out to him and telling him that they were gay, and that, you know, this whole time that they, you know, they're a couple and they're his best friends. And he didn't believe them, of course. So they kissed. And he was like, oh, come on, that's not a real kiss. So then they kissed again and kissed again. And he told him, just stop it. You know, like, he was getting all frustrated and flustered with them kissing each other. And he was like, they kept saying, well, do you believe us? Like, you know, we're really a gay couple. We've just been hiding it from you because you're totally uncomfortable with gay people and all this, that, and other. And so meanwhile, Chandler T goes to visit his mom with his best friend, and he's crying all over his mom and having a complete meltdown. And his mom basically told him, like, you know, you either need to talk to him or you need to move on with somebody else. Like, if he doesn't want to be with you, you've confessed to him and he's rejecting you, then find somebody else. There's, like, plenty of fish in the sea, and you're a good looking kid, so you can find somebody else. And he goes, you know, I really don't want to lose him as a friend or whatever. And she goes, and that's fine, but, you know, you need to find you somebody else. If he's straight, he don't want you. Like, let it go. And I agree with the mom. Like, you know what, if he doesn't want you, then you gotta find somebody else. Like, move on with your life. And it was hard for him to hear that from his mom, but she was giving him really good advice. You know, if you can't, you know, if he doesn't accept your advances, then, you know, you were wrong for kissing him. You shouldn't have put your lips on him. You know, that's not cool. But you were right for telling him the truth, because you don't want him to, you know, you don't want to have somebody in love with you who doesn't love you back, you know, or a fake love, like, you know, this one-sided love thing that he's got going in his head. And so they worked all that out, and then back at the house, I guess Tahan went to visit his family, and the father was just, like, going on and on and on about him getting back with Amp, his ex-girlfriend, and he wasn't really trying to hear it because he was so distraught they could tell something was wrong, and they were just assuming that it was about his ex-girlfriend, but it really was about his roommate, Chandler T. But he didn't tell them. Like, he didn't say, you know, nothing. Like, he just sit there and let his dad rant and rave about, you know, how him and his mom would fight and they would break up and get back together, and he always took her back after a fight and this, that, and the other. And he was just looking at them like, oh, Lord Jesus. And then so his sister and him were talking later on, and she was talking about her husband. She suspected her husband's gay, and that she asked him, he was drinking water, and she asked him like, well, is it possible a guy like you who's very straight could date a girl and then turn around and date a guy? And he choked on his water. And it was so funny, like the little things that they would say to him, reminded him of, Chandler T and his situation. He has not told his family anything because they don't know what's going on with him. They just know he's upset. And he goes in his room, I guess, at their house, and he's watching TV, and it's a BL series playing, and he's sitting there reminiscing his relationship with Chandler T in the past, how he was caring for him and, being a brother to him, and how gay it all looked. I guess he was trying to work it all out in his head, and then the soap opera was going, and he kind of smiled, and then he kind of snapped out of it, like, what am I thinking? I think he's starting to realize that he does deep down have feelings for his roommate, that it's not just a one-sided love, but he's still struggling with it or whatever. And so he goes back, I think, to the house, and his roommates are like totally packing and moving out. Like all three roommates are packed up, and they're like, we're moving out. Like, we don't want to make you feel uncomfortable because we're a couple and we're your best friends, but if it's going to be a problem, then we should just leave. And he was like, I don't want you to leave. And they were like, well, are you sure you're not going to have a problem with us because we're gay? You have to know, like, you seem like you have a problem with gay people. And he's like, it's just other people, not you guys. You're my best friends, and if you guys move out, we'll never talk anymore. Like, we're not going to be friends anymore if you leave. And he's like, please stay. And they were like, well, can the girls stay? Because they had this girl that oh my Lord, that they brought to that house, from a brothel. Like, they helped that girl get out of that situation. And they were pretending that she was in love with the two of them. So they wanted to keep her. And then they had to confess that, she was just part of the plan to keep him in the feeling comfortable, so that he wouldn't know that they were gay, and they were tired of all of that. So they all agreed to stay there with him. But then later on, they saw him in the bedroom, like he was supposed to be, like the next day he's supposed to go to school, and he's still at home. And they're like, why isn't he at school? He never misses school. So they go in the room, and he's totally like holding Chandler T's t-shirt. And he's like about to sniff it and everything, like he's totally missing him. It was so obvious. And then they come in the room, and he throws a t-shirt behind him, and they like coax him, like, what are you doing with that t-shirt? Like they finally, and then he's like, I'm not doing anything with it, I'm gonna wash it or something. I can't remember what he said. He said something stupid. And then he runs them out of the room because they're like onto him, like they're like, are you sure you don't have feelings for him? They're like, no, he's my brother. Like, he's still saying he's his brother. So I suspect that, I don't know if they'll ever get together, because I've seen these BL series, just don't know which way they're gonna go. And so I don't want to say that they're gonna get together. I hope they do, but I've seen some that imply stuff and then they don't ever get together. So I don't want to get my hopes up for these two just yet. But I suspect, like, from what I can see in the previews, Chandler T is gonna start, trying to move on from him and date his classmates and stuff. And Chandler T is gonna, I guess, be jealous, but still trying to be a brother and not a, boyfriend or whatever. So we'll see. Well, like, I think this was episode 6. There's only 10 episodes, so it's not like it's gonna be on much longer. So there's only gonna be like probably till January, and it's gonna be done. So in the next couple of weeks, we'll find out if they, if they're gonna get together. Now, I'm hopeful that they will, because they make such a cute BL couple, and the storyline is so cute, and their roommate situation is so cute. Like, it makes me smile how they've been all this time, like they've been hiding their relationship from him and doing all. He's been taking them to brothels and all kinds of shit. And it's just silly as hell. Whoever wrote this is genius. Like, it's just such good slapstick comedy to me, and it's still funny. And you know, it was sad when when Sean Litty was crying and everything, but I think he's gonna be able to get over him and start dating other people, because one of Sean Litty's classmates has a crush on him, and he's really a cute boy, and I think that little boy is rich too. And that would be a nice little backup. Like, if Tahan doesn't want him, he could always back up on that little boy, because that little boy is adorable. And I'm like, why don't them two get together? They would make a cute little BL couple. And so we'll have to see if, Sean Litty starts to date other classmates, because like I said, he's got a lot of people flirting with him at school. So it's not like he can't meet other guys who are really rich and cute and everything. Even though I'm rooting for, Tahan to wake the hell up and get his boyfriend. His ex-girlfriend is really pretty, so I don't know how the hell they want these girls to be mean girls or whatever, but I ain't buying it, because she's too pretty to be a mean girl. She's such a cute girl, and so I don't know if he'll take her back. He keeps saying he don't ever want her back after what she pulled at that party, trying to get him, snagged by her friend. And Sean Litty was pissed. Tahan was pissed. Beyond pissed. So I don't think he's going to be getting back with her. But you never know. His parents could force him. I don't know. I don't know Thailand culture that well. I'm learning. I'm learning in the BL world and how they write their scripts. Their scripts are all over the place, so it's even hard to maneuver all of that. This series reminds me so much of Lovesick in so many ways. If you guys remember that Lovesick with Noah and Poon. I remember they both had girlfriends at the beginning. Noah really didn't have a girlfriend situationship. There was a girl who had a crush on him that was his friend, and he ended up kind of like, spending a lot of time with her, and she kind of pushed him into a relationship. But then when he discovered he had feelings for Poon was still with his girlfriend, and she was cheating on him. And it was a mess, because that girl was doing porn and everything. Like, she was getting videotaped, having sex with all these different guys and everything. And Noah found out about it early on, but he didn't want to say anything to Poon, because he didn't want to hurt him. Like, because they had bonded with each other, friendship-wise. It was kind of rocky road in the beginning, but then they ended up like really getting close, and then before you know it, they started kind of like digging each other, and then they ended up having to break up with the girls. And so I don't know why this kind of reminds me of that story for some reason. It's different, but it is similar, kind of. I guess because they're, straight guys dating girls, and then they end up dating boys in the end or whatever. But I don't know why I did that, but yeah, to me, those stories it kind of gives me that feeling, even though it's not the same exact storyline. And there's no gay side couples or anything. But, at that school, there was a lot of boys in denial over there. It was like Denial Island on Lovesick. Lovesick 1 and 2, because everybody kind of, except for one couple, became a couple. And then it was kind of implied that the one boy did have feelings for him, but he really wanted to just stay friends. He didn't want to date. And that was really problematic, because it was like, okay, you get jealous when he's with his friends or whatever, but you don't want to date him. But you don't want him to be with nobody else. Like, the boy had moved on from him. I think it was Per, and I can't remember the other kid's name, but Per was the straight one that kind of was getting jealous when his little friend, sidekick in Lovesick, started to date other guys, because he did find another guy to date when he first broke up with him. He was very crude the way he broke up with him. So I don't know. But anyway, back to Tahan Chonlati. It'll be interesting to see what develops next week. I can't wait. Like, last night's episode was so good. Like, I was so happy that he finally confessed and everything to Tahan, because like everybody's just been on pin and needles around this dude forever. And so I don't know, it was just interesting. Like, it was just so interesting how he confessed. I don't know why he kissed him. Like, I guess he couldn't resist those big old juicy lips of his, but he smacked down on them and he got rejected. So maybe the next time, before the end of the series, they'll work it out. I hope that they get together, but I don't know. I'm not the writer of this. I don't know the story, so I don't know. But I can't wait. I can't wait to see, how it turns out. And so tonight I'm going to be watching Why Love Why, because a new episode is already uploaded. And on Why Love Why, that's a BL series from the Philippines. So it is really good. And then I'm watching a new one, and I can't remember the name of it. It's Why Love Why, and then there's a new one. Well, I'll have to come back on another BL series chat and talk about that one, because I can't really remember the name of it. And so it's getting dark now, so I'm sorry about not having enough light on the video, because I'm getting close to my house and it's all wooded and not much light. But I'm going to keep talking because I want to kind of promote my channel. This is my Princess Ariel M channel, which is basically me, ex-Disney Princess, Magic Kingdom, Florida 2001. Never forget, they ran me off. I didn't get fired, but I was run off the job. So I created this channel to basically stay connected to Disney and do parodies on Little Mermaid and still be a part of the Disney family in my own way. And talk about my situationship in order to kind of educate people on how job discrimination works and what happens to people who are trans when someone gets jealous on the job. It wasn't that the company was anti-trans, because that wasn't the situation. It was just a manager who was jealous of me and wanted me gone. And she did everything in her power to make sure that happened. And I don't ever want people to forget that story of my life, because it was very tragic. I worked 10 years with that company. I worked very hard. People all over the place knew me, from merchandising to attractions, to the parade route, to the merchandising carts at the Pleasure Island, which is now, I don't know what they call it now, but it's got a new name. Downtown Disney area. And so I worked all those areas. I was like a little VIP girl at the nightclubs over there at the time at Pleasure Island. The managers liked me, always got me in the back door, and them hoes didn't like it, and they wanted me gone. And they made me, took all my shifts away when I had to come out, because she basically forced me out into the open before I was ready to tell her anyone. And people went behind my back and told her, I know who did it. And it basically, they said, you can only use this bathroom, use that bathroom, and that was the way they took my shifts away. And once they did that, I wasn't able to pay my bills. I lost my house, my mortgage. I could no longer pay it. I couldn't pay the car payment on my Jeep. I had a soft top Jeep at the time that I worked really hard to get. I lost everything. And it was all because of jealousy and ignorant ass people around me who didn't want to see me survive this, situation that I was in. I was desperate, on the verge of suicide, and I just figured it out. Like, God sent somebody to me to kind of open my eyes to what trans was. I never heard of it. Once I heard it, I ran to that and found a doctor. The doctor helped me test me to help me figure all that out. I changed my life and started taking hormones and all of that. And they were just jealous. They were all very jealous and envious, and I guess they wanted to see me dead. But honey, that didn't happen. I'm still here. Some of them have already died and gone on to glory and met their maker, honey. Hope you can explain all that crap to God when you get there. But my channel is basically karaoke, performance art pieces. These chats on about BLs. I'm trying to recoup all the people that I lost, because I lost half of my followship. And I'm doing these BL series chats now in hopes to get new people to come over to my channel and check it out. So you can like and subscribe, share my channel with your friends, and I have a Cash App. You can donate to my channel, help me update my equipment. It's PCESSAR. It's cutting out now, so I'm going to go ahead and close. Thank you all for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.